This is the Art Beauty Podcast where we tell the real truth about the fake shit. Hi, everybody. I'm Amber, and today my fabulous co-host is Dr. Claire Bertucio. She is a radiation oncologist and also the CEO of Medicine Mama's Apothecary, which makes the very popular and very exciting, which we're going to be talking about today, Vmagic line. Now, this is a line that was endorsed by Khloe Kardashian. So if you're into the Kardashians, she's not affiliated with the brand. They didn't pay for it, but she uses their lipstick, which is a balm for down under, if you know what I'm saying. And we're going to be talking all about that today. But before we do that, I want to welcome you to the show, Dr. Claire Bertucio. How are you doing?
Great, thanks. How about you? Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's so exciting to have you on. Do you want me to call you Dr. Bertucio or Claire?
I think Claire is good.
Okay. I always like to ask because you worked hard for that doctorate.
I did, but thank you.
Where are you zooming in from today?
I'm actually in Venice Beach, California today.
Oh, so nice. You're enjoying that beautiful weather.
I am.
Not so much for us here. But we're in the Northeast. I'm in New York. It's cold. It's rainy today. Yucky.
Yeah.
Okay. I am so interested in this because did you create this Vmagic line?
So I'm not the original founder, but my husband and I were one of the original investors in the company.
Okay.
And so we've been with the company for 14, 15 years and have followed it along. I've used the products, I use them in my clinic, and ultimately transitioned into owning the company and me becoming the CEO.
I love that. Now, are you still practicing radiation oncology?
Not full time.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm transitioning from a full time, 25 years of radiation oncology into this is now my full time endeavor. So I do some consulting in oncology and I still participate in my practice as a business owner. But this is really now morphed into my full time situation.
I was thinking at first, I was like, wow, she's probably leaving like a job where there was no time off, but then to go to a job where there's probably no time off, right? I mean, being a business owner is not easy per se. But tell us about, radiation oncology. Pretty serious stuff that we're talking about here. How did you get into that? What was that experience like for you?
So, unfortunately, both of my parents died of cancer. And so I had an interest in cancer sort of all along. And so when it came to specializing, I chose radiation oncology. And I I actually loved it. I'm impassioned by it. And throughout my career, I gave a lot of talks and I was actually at University of Washington on staff for a while. So I did quite a bit of teaching. And people would always ask when I was either giving lectures or talks, don't you find what you do really depressing? And sure, there's some depressing times. But what I found was being invited into people's lives and their families' lives at such a very highly emotional, charged time and being there to help people move through this journey was so personally rewarding that it made the practice just besides what I could do for people, I really felt good about what I was doing. So I love being a radiation oncologist.
I mean, I have to tell you, bedside manner, like I've only met you for a little bit, but boy, you seem like you would be the most kind, loving face to have on the other end of that very, challenging news. But then I also have to imagine that for all of the times that there were hard times, there were probably really rewarding times, right?
Sure.
When you were able to fight back, correct?
Absolutely 100%. And that's one of the other things that I came to in my practice as you work through this was I focus on what I can do for people, not what I can't. And so, unlike some other specialties where you have a broken bone, it gets fixed and yay, you run back off. Sometimes we can't achieve that in cancer. Sometimes we can, and that's a home run, and that's wonderful. But equally as rewarding and important is helping people at the end of life when there's pain or suffering, knowing that you can be a part of the process to alleviate pain, to prolong life in a meaningful way, give people more time with their friends, their families. Maybe there's an event coming up, a wedding, a graduation that really means a lot. Helping people to achieve those goals is so satisfying. You just feel that you've really done something good. So you have to look at it, or I've always had to look at cancer practice a little bit differently than you might something where there's a clear end goal, right, and we usually achieve those goals. I had to reset what my goals were, but also recognize they were equally as important.
Man, I hope everybody listening to this right now is feeling a little bit of what I'm feeling, which is also to appreciate all of these small moments. And for those of us who are healthy, who are not having to deal, you know, with a diagnosis of cancer, or it's so pervasive, or our family or our friends.
Yep.
Boy, I hope right now you are just appreciating your life a little bit more as you're listening to this wonderful story. So, you know, going from radiation oncology, which was what seems like a very passionate career choice for you, how did you decide to make the transition now, you know, for lack of a better term, to like vagina bombs?
Right. Well, as I say, I've been involved with this company and sort of inspired by what they were doing for a number of years along the way, more or less as a passive investor.
Okay.
And again, I brought these products into my clinic because they're so soothing, hydrating. Unfortunately, when you're undergoing radiation, and specifically, let's talk about pelvic radiation for certain pelvic cancers, you can get quite a bit of irritation, skin breakdown, redness, pain, discomfort. And I found that these products, they're all natural, organic, were amazingly soothing to my patients.
Right.
And I've been a user for 15 years or so myself. So when I was getting to the point of thinking, maybe I want to transition out of full-time medical practice, but I wasn't done. I wanted to keep helping people and keep doing something that mattered. And so you say, well, how does selling vulvar cream matter? Well, it matters not only because, right, I mean, there's a number of conditions in which it really matters, and the products are really actually amazing. But I also look at the company as a place to build a platform for women to speak to other women, to open dialogue, and to help empower women. And
I love that.
so that was, you know, combined with loving the products and thinking they were really great, because I couldn't get behind something that I didn't endorse myself or think was really great. But on top of that, using it as an opportunity to create empowerment and dialogue for women, which is something really important to me. As a female physician, I had to work twice as hard to get half as far as men. And right. So, I mean, all the women out there, I'm sure you included, know that it's still not quite where we'd like it to be, right?
Nope.
So anything I can do to help empower women in this ongoing move forward, I want to be right there. And I see that. Go ahead. You're going to say something?
No, I just, no, keep going. Keep going. I'm just loving this.
No, I just see this as an amazing platform to combine a great product and open dialogue, empower women, and talk about, you know, we do all this to our face, right? We get up in the morning and, you know, I don't know how long your routine takes, but, you know, especially as you get older, it takes a little bit longer.
Oh, yeah.
We don't do that. And we have skincare rituals, right? The vulva, super delicate skin, very important, right?
Right.
Gateway to the world in many ways, right?
Yeah.
So we don't take care of it.
Nope.
This really interested me because I think that we should. And again, as a user of the product, I actually have seen a difference over the years. And when women's bodies change throughout their lives.
Right.
So I think people don't know, for example, when you take birth control pills, and that may be early on, right? That can give you some vulvar and vaginal dryness. Well,
right, certainly. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm in my 40s now, mid 40s. So, you know, perimenopause is going to be my next journey. And let me just tell you, I'm glad that we're on here because that's part of the reason I do this podcast. It's unsponsored. I don't get paid for it, but I love to give brands like yourself, other women, education, information,
Yeah.
and help. I'm hoping spur dialogue because I'm really attached to my vagina. But you know what?
Yep.
I don't talk about it that much, probably
Right.
nearly enough as I do. Certainly not
Right.
as much as I talk about my face or my body
Right.
care.
Right.
So I think you're right. It's important to talk about this. And vaginal dryness is something that, like, I've got sisters, mothers, people talk to me, especially as you go into that
Yep.
perimenopause and postmenopause time in our lives,
Yep.
that that can happen. And certainly I feel like now, 50, 60 is like the new 40 something, right? So
Well,
I
I
still
hope
want,
so.
right? I hope so too. But we're like, we still want to be having sex, right? And vaginal
100%.
dryness
Yes.
is something
And we
that we need
want,
to feel
oh,
good.
go
Yeah.
ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah. Keep
Yeah.
going.
Well, right. And so I think that, what you were starting to talk about and what's really important to me, part of my mission, part of my goal with this company is women's education about their health and their bodies. So as a female physician, I feel that I'm in a really good position to have that dialogue and to spearhead that dialogue and to answer questions and to be available and to help women. We don't talk about our bodies. I always use the analogy of locker rooms. Should you have the misfortune of walking into a men's locker room, they're all standing around, mostly naked, and they're talking about their exploits and their this, that, and the other thing. It may not be the way we would choose to talk about our bodies, but they're talking about it. And what are they doing? They're sharing information. And so what they walk away from that is a sense of what's kind of normal. Okay.
Right.
What should I expect? What does normal look like? I mean, all of these things that we have no idea about. You walk into a woman's locker room, that's not what we're talking about. Most of us have a towel on, a
Covered
robe.
up. Yeah.
Exactly. Standing behind a locker door as we get dressed. And we're certainly not talking about vulvar dryness or pain with intimacy with our
Intercourse. Right.
long-term partners. We're talking about anything but that.
Yeah.
So a real goal for me is to open that dialogue because it's educational. How do you know what's normal? How do you know what's not normal? For so many years, we suffer in silence. I know my mother
Mm-hmm.
never talked to me about my period, let alone menopause and the changes that it might incur, especially vis-a-vis an intimate relationship.
Right.
So I don't want other people to
To
have
feel
to
that
go
way.
through that.
So let's get into a little bit about what this line is and maybe talk a little bit about what is normal. So the Vmagic is for vulvar
Vulva.
care?
Yes,
Okay.
for vulvar care, right. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
So essentially our vaginal lips and exterior, correct?
right. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
And the
what
clitoris. Most people don't realize the clitoris is actually part of the vulva. So again, this is
most
an
men
area that
definitely
we
don't.
right. I mean, this is an area that we need to love and take care of, and we
Yeah.
don't.
And
So,
we don't.
and again, see, this is all about education and
Yeah.
understanding.
So let's talk about what is the Vmagic line. And again, you're endorsed by Khloe Kardashian, who is, not in her 40s, 50s, 60s, or maybe she's in her 40s now. I don't quite know. But by a fairly like young and hot woman who loves your lips stick.
Well, and we're delighted. It was an absolutely unsolicited. It was just something that was posted and kind of went on social media. So we have no connection. It's unsolicited, but wow, we're delighted and super excited.
If it's good enough for the
Because
Kardashians, it's good enough for most of us. So let's talk about that. What are some of the products in the line?
so the idea is to create a self-care ritual that becomes
Mm-hmm.
part of your daily ritual, just like I was talking about your face or your body. So we have a beautiful, delicate wash. We have a balm to put on after or at bedtime or all day long with the lipstick. So it's one of those things on the go. That's what the lipstick is so great about. You throw it in. I must have one in every bag, every suitcase that I own. because it's on the go. All right, great. And we have a very, very fine, we call it a micro peel for the bikini line area. So no more ingrown hairs, no more redness, smooth, soft, before or after grooming, whether you shave or wax. And it's just a beautiful product. So right now, that's kind of the vulvar care line. We have some other things in the works that we will be bringing out soon. We're looking at a lubricant. So that will be a little bit of a departure from just vulvar care. But right now we focus on the vulva because it's super important and people don't think about it. And a couple other tricks up our sleeve that we'll be bringing out.
Amazing. You know, I'm so glad that you are bringing this into sort of the conversation and that you're allowing women to talk about this. So let's talk. So we've got an intimate wash, a vulvar wash. Now, is that something that we should only be using on that, area?
Well, you can use it anywhere you want, but I think the converse is what we should be thinking about. You shouldn't be using your face wash or your body wash on your vulva. Your vulva is a beautiful, delicate skin. So this is specially formulated for that beautiful, delicate skin. So yeah, you can use it anywhere else. But what I would discourage, and that we all have done, is just using what we use everywhere else on this intimate, beautiful skin, right? We want to keep it rejuvenated. We want to keep it hydrated. And so our products are geared towards that.
Got it. So interesting, that our products can also probably be adding to that irritation, which we might already have because of hormonal reasons. Gotcha. Okay. So this is like a pH balance for that delicate area. And, let's not talk about the balm because this is very interesting. And you're talking about what's normal, what's not. Is the balm only for people who are experiencing vaginal dryness or vulvar dryness? Is this something that you're supposed to be using every day?
I think you should be using it every day, in every way, at every stage and phase. So while our consumers to date have largely been in the menopausal space because there's an issue, I'm trying to educate women to understand that this is something you can be using, basically from the time, 20s, late 20s on. It's all organic. So there's nothing in it that's going to hurt you. And you'd be amazed at the difference in that skin. It's sort of akin to, you don't wait to put a moisturizer on your skin until you hit later in life where your skin is dried out, right? Young women start moisturizers at, I don't know, early teens at this point. You get into the routine, but you're taking care of that skin. So it's a great question because I want to encourage women of all ages to be doing vulvar care. The other thing that, as a physician, doing the vulvar care routine, I say, the lipstick is great because it's on the go, it's convenient, your handbag.
So the lipstick, just for people who are listening, that is the balm in a to-go form.
Correct. Great. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And so as we say, for your other lips.
Right.
Yeah. But the balm, you apply with your hand. And what I actually like and encourage about that is, again, most women don't look, don't feel, don't have any idea what's going on in their vulva or vagina. And men certainly do. So how will you know if something has changed or something isn't right? I was surprised throughout my career as a radiation oncologist when I would see people with later stage disease that you just assume they would have noticed. But it speaks to that exact fact that I'm trying to get at. We don't touch, we don't feel, we don't look. Get a mirror, take a look, take your hand, feel. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with doing that. We've been told, throughout history that we're not allowed to do that. Well, you're not only allowed to do that, I encourage you to do that.
Right. Wonderful. That's like a great message. And certainly, like, you've heard this on the podcast so many times before. You need to be your own best medical advocate, your own health
100%.
advocate. So
Yes.
knowing about all of this is important. So what is the right way that we should be using this vulvar balm?
Well, um, I mean, the way that I use it, or that is, you can use it as many times a day as you want. Some people just find once a day, nighttime, whatever works for you, and just liberally apply to the vulva.
Okay.
It's not an intravaginal product. It's not going to hurt you, but that's not what we do, and that's not what we're advocating it for. So just on the vulva, and in the I mean, personally, I like it in the bikini wax line. So in that whole area, because it keeps my skin smooth after I've used the nice micro peel. So I don't have ingrown hairs, no redness. It's just nice, smooth, shiny, glowy skin. So that's how listen.
I'm clapping right now for a glowing vagina. Absolutely.
I'm
I mean,
telling
who
you.
doesn't want that?
I
Goals
don't know
in
who doesn't want that.
2023. So for those of us, the ingredients in that, I've never used this product. I've never tried any of these products, just keeping it real here. But they are sounding very, very interesting to me. But is it like, for those of us who might have like, nice lingerie, is that going to stain? Is it something that
I get that question a lot, and the balm is, for some people, feels a little bit heavier, and so I just would tell people to try it, and see.
okay.
See how they feel about it. See, again, the more you put on, obviously, the more that's going to be there. If
Right.
you just put on a light coating, you should do pretty well. But I would encourage people to try it before putting on their best lingerie.
Right. So maybe don't
Yeah.
apply and then put on the Perla. Got it. Listen, fair
Well,
question to ask.
or I would say try something else first. Then when you see it's fine, then put on the La Perla. That's
Got it.
okay.
So throw on your
Yeah.
Hanes first. Give it a shot in your
Yeah.
Hanes, and then
See
we can move up.
how you feel about it, and then go from there.
You know, I want to be mindful of the time here. But if people are interested in this, they can go to medicinemamasapothecary.com, or
Right.
you can
Or
Google Vmagic.
medmama.com. Yeah.
Okay. Or you
Or
Google
Vmagic. You can just search V as in vulva, Vmagic, and it will come up to our whole, our website. We're also on Amazon. So, and in certain retailers. So easily available.
Always good to know. And I always like to ask brands because, with Amazon, you never know if you're getting the real thing, the not thing. So you are endorsing your Amazon sales as long as it comes from the Vmagic store, I'm
Correct.
assuming. Got it.
Yes,
Perfect.
absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And
Great.
just like anyone else, everybody struggles with some people reselling your product, but we have a very strong Amazon presence of our product. So
amazing. And I'll make sure to link to that.
Wonderful, we have our own website, and we offer kits and this, that, and the other thing. So, and it's a beautiful website. So I encourage people to go on and take a look.
I love that. Probably a lot of information on there that's very, very handy.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make sure to put the Amazon links in the show notes for everybody so that we know that they're legit. Before I let you go, is there anything that you can tell women right now, sort of about maybe other ways to keep our V's nice and happy?
Well, I would step back and say, I think healthy inside makes healthy outside. So I strongly encourage, just like everyone else, but I think the more you hear it, the better off you are. I strongly encourage a healthy diet. I encourage some form of exercise daily. And, you don't have to run marathons. A nice walk outside. I think that daily exercise is not just to keep our bodies fit, but it helps our souls and our insides. Fresh air, get outside. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I really encourage along with that, because as women, we're moms. I was a single mom for most of my career as a full-time working physician, and now as CEO. We care for the world, but we forget to care for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And I think that my message to all women out there is take some me time every day. And I know we all say, I don't have time. I've got to get kids out the door. I work. I'm still supposed to look beautiful and be sensual for my partner. Take the time every day for me time. And you pick the time of day that's important to you, whatever it is, a time for reflection, a time to set intent for the day. What is my day going to look like? And follow that. And yeah, it always gets deviated and it never turns out right exactly how we want. But if you have that positive intention, that positivity from the inside, it's what makes us glow on the outside. So then, you start your routines. And I'm actually a big believer in some routine and ritual in a day because our days are so disrupted. So to me, you can find some solace, cadence, almost fall into the rhythm of a routine. And I think that is very healthy. So I encourage, as we do our face and our body routines, get in the habit of doing a vulvar care routine. You're showering or taking a bath anyway. So use a wash that is meant for the vulva.
Right.
You're putting on body lotion and all this stuff anyway. So use a product that was designed especially for the vulva.
For that area. I love it. Remember, glowing vaginas, like
I'm
goals in 2023. Such wonderful advice. Probiotics. I've heard before that that's a good thing for a healthy V.
I think that's okay. What I would say, what most people don't understand. So if you're taking probiotics and supplements, I know a lot of people do that and check with your doctor, make sure it agrees with your gut and flora and stuff. I think an important point there, though, is most women don't understand that the vagina is a quote unquote self-cleaning oven. So really and truly, so we're not talking about the vulva, but the actual vagina, people who are washing or douching, in putting things that change the environment of the vagina in the vagina are actually doing more harm than good. And again, this is an education thing. We're not taught that. You see these things on the grocery store shelf. And so you think, oh, I should probably be doing this. You shouldn't be doing that because what it does is it actually changes the flora and the pH of the vagina and leads to infection, discomfort, etc. So that would be a takeaway, hopefully from me as well. The vulva is separate from the vagina. The vagina takes care of itself.
Got it. Okay, so the vagina takes care of itself. You take care of the vulva.
Exactly.
Amazing news. I want to thank you so much for being on with us today, Claire. Again, if people want to learn more about this product, they can go to medmamasapothecary.com or Google Vmagic. Like I said, I will have links to the products that we talked about, including, and I'm just going to shout it out again because it is a big deal, the lipstick endorsed by Miss Khloe Kardashian herself, an unpaid sponsorship that we are really excited to celebrate. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. I want to thank you so much for your time today.
And same to you, and thank you very much. And to everyone out there, thank you for listening.
Amazing. And of course, if you have questions you want me to pass on to Dr. Bertucio or her team, I'm always happy to do that. You can email me at hello@artbeautypodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Art Beauty Podcast. And as always, we will see you next Tuesday, hopefully with a more glowing vagina. Vulva.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.